With all the unfortunate events going on leading to everybody needing to quarantine and stay away from each other, there will be no March Madness, meaning there won't be any type of Cinderella story going into this year's NBA draft. With that being said, we might already know who the best players are in the first round for the upcoming 2020 NBA draft. Let's talk about who everybody else is talking about. What's going on, Fumble fam? It's your boy Chris, also known as CK2K, over on my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe over there. But make sure if you're watching this right now, you are subscribing right here, hitting that notification bell. And don't forget to like this video. And yes, it is mock draft season, and unfortunately it came a little bit early because of everything that's been going on right now, and because there's no play in March Madness and there's no NCAA tournament. There's not really much else we're gonna see from any of these guys. And I mean, maybe we'll start seeing some workout videos with them shooting around by himself, but that can only tell you so much. So let's talk about who other mock drafts have going in the first round for this 2020 NBA draft. Now, there's a lot of different sources people go to get their mock draft fix. We go to Bleacher Report, ESPN, so on and so forth, Draft Express. There's so many people, but it seems like a lot of them seem to agree on who is going to be the top 3 talent in this year's NBA draft. Now, I'm not going to waste your guys' time and start naming everybody in the first round of the NBA draft this coming year. So we're basically going to talk about the top 5 guys in this year's draft according to these other mocks, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below, who you think is in the top 5 in this year's NBA draft. Starting at numero, what's 5 in Spanish? 5. We're starting at 5. The Detroit Pistons drafting Tyrese Halliburton. Now, we know the Detroit Pistons have had a bit of an identity crisis at the point guard ever since Chauncey Billups was traded away from the team, and they have not yet had a solid point guard on that team, so they're desperately in need for a top point guard like Tyrese Halliburton from Iowa State. Going at number 4, the Atlanta Hawks, and I'm gonna go with Deni Avdija. Oh my gosh, I'm saying his name so wrong. I apologize. It's Denny though. Denny, you know Denny. Denny plays for Tel Aviv overseas, and he is a guy that a lot of scouts are comparing to Luka Doncic. He's not quite the superstar that he might be, but a lot of scouts seem to think that this guy has a huge upside. So him fitting with the Atlanta Hawks next to a guy like Trae Young would be a perfect fit. Now, sitting at number 3, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it looks like they're probably going to get a guy like LaMelo Ball. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking with all the hype, people are going to put LaMelo Ball at the number 1 pick. But if you look at the other 2 names that I'm about to name, it makes sense that LaMelo Ball would fall down to number 3. The question is, where does he fit with a talent like D'Angelo Russell playing the point guard? Does LaMelo play the 1? Does he play the 2? That'd be a question that they would have to answer. The number 2 pick goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers. This goes to the player that everybody was excited about all throughout the college basketball season. That is Anthony Edwards of Georgia. This dude is a scoring juggernaut, and he is a Bulldog for more reasons than one. Yes, he plays for the Georgia Bulldogs, but the dude is a dog on the court, on the defensive side as well as on the offensive side, mainly on the offensive side if you watched any second of any game he's played this season. So I got the Cavaliers adding on to the young core with somebody that can possibly be the star for them at the next level in Anthony Edwards. Leaving me to the number 1 overall pick, going to the man who did not play he played a few games in the NCAA this past season, James Wiseman, mainly because of the talent and the fit. It just makes way too much sense. The position that this team has always lacked in their entire run to the playoffs, and unfortunately for them, they didn't really need it, has been a solid big man. They've had a bevy of big men play for that team, but a lot of them got injured or left. We've seen JaVale McGee, we've seen Kevin Looney, we've seen Damian Jones, we've seen Big Boogie Cousins, we've seen so many players come through that team and play the big man, and either they were hurt or they just weren't that kind of guy that would fit on this team. And when you have the number 1 overall pick, you go after a guy that makes the most sense and as well has the talent. Yes, you always go with talent over fit, but in this situation, both make sense for the Golden State Warriors. So to me, I see them going after a guy like James Wiseman, and I think he would be the number 1 overall pick for this team. Now, again, I mix my flavor in with a little bit of the other mock drafts, but what do you guys think? Does this list make sense? Do you think that these professionals have it wrong, or do you think that this is the right list? Let me know your top 5 in the comments below. It's me, your boy Chris. Catch you guys in the next video. Stay safe. See y'all later.